All right, here we go. What ifs? All right, here we go. What if the Bills draft Patrick Mahomes instead of trading the pick away? Potential answer. Mahomes develops under Sean McDermott. No Josh Allen era. Bills likely become contenders sooner, but Mahomes may not become the same player without the environment he had in Kansas City. The NFL landscape changes completely. Okay, cool. If you have any what ifs that aren't here that you don't see, throw them in the comment section. I found this really interesting, right? What if, right? Because you know, right? Like, damn, what if? So there it is. What if we drafted Patrick Mahomes? So there's your answers there for at least ChatGPT. Number 2, what if the Bills draft Lamar Jackson in 2018? Potential answer. Buffalo builds a run-heavy offense around Lamar. No Josh Allen. Bills become dangerous, but may not reach the same passing explosiveness Allen provides. Okay. Number 3, the Bills never trade up for Josh Allen. Potential answer. Could have ended up with Josh Rosen or another quarterback. Drought of elite quarterback play continues. Franchise trajectory looks drastically different. And yeah, I mean, if we don't draft Josh Allen and we draft Josh Rosen, guys, we're probably talking about potentially another drought, right? Potentially. All right. Number 4, the Bills beat Kansas City in the 13-second game. Potential answer. Buffalo likely reaches the AFC Championship. Could have won the Super Bowl that year. McDermott's legacy is viewed completely differently. Wow. And yes, I agree. Like, he fucked us. Let's be real. Sean McDermott fucked the Buffalo Bills of an opportunity of going to a Super Bowl and potentially winning a Super Bowl that year. So, yeah, I'm going to put the majority of that all on Sean McDermott. Number 5, what if Scott Norwood makes the kick? Well, Buffalo wins its first Super Bowl. The Bills dynasty conversation changes forever. The emotional history of the franchise is completely different. I mean, golly. Because that was it. That was the game. That was the Super Bowl. If they were going to win one, that was it. We were the better team. Let's be real. Come on, I don't know if anyone can debate that with me, right? Better on both sides of the ball. They had a backup quarterback playing. I think the Bills took that Super Bowl for granted. There was a lot of rumors about them partying, over there prior to the game, and I think they thought they had it in the bag. And before you know it, the game's close, and the rest is in the history books. So yeah. Okay, number 6. What if the Bills draft Aaron Rodgers in 2005? Rodgers sits behind Drew Bledsoe. Bills avoid years of quarterback instability. Possible playoff appearances throughout the drought era. Oh, man. Like, this is a lot of what ifs. Aaron motherfucking Rodgers. And I don't like the guy, but I can't deny his greatness. The dude is a great quarterback. And yeah, you draft him, you sit him behind Drew Bledsoe. Yeah, I mean, you got your franchise quarterback. Things could have been different, but we didn't do that. We didn't do it. What if Doug Flutie starts the Music City Miracle game? Potential answer: Bills may win the game, and I believe we will. I believe they would have. Playoff run becomes possible. Abso-fucking-lutely. The drought might never happen. And that's true, because who knows how far or how long Flutie stays for, right? If he goes on and has a nice playoff run there. I'm with that. Number 8. What if the Bills keep Marshawn Lynch? Potential answer: Lynch and Fred Jackson become an elite tandem. More offense success during the late 2000s could have changed Chan Gailey's era results. Yeah, I mean, I just think at that time Marshawn Lynch was getting in a little bit of trouble, and I think they just were ready to move on, and they didn't want, more stuff happening, off-field stuff. And I think they were confident enough in what they had in Fred Jackson and moved on from Marshawn Lynch. But they're not lying. Like, if they kept Lynch around and Fred, it would have been talk about a two-headed monster, right? I mean, I'm not saying Fred Jackson was this unbelievable running back, but he was a good running back, right? Marshawn Lynch would have only gotten better. Like, Marshawn Lynch was just starting to get in his prime by then. You know what I mean? Like, because to be fair, Marshawn Lynch really hit his prime in Seattle. You know what I mean? So imagine we keep him for another year and he gets really in his prime. Man, oh man. All right, number 9. What if Buffalo never trades for Stephon Diggs? Potential answer: Josh Allen's development slows. No 2020 MVP caliber breakout season. Bills may not become AFC contenders. Boy, oh boy. That's an interesting one, right? Because 2019 is when they acquired Cole Beasley and John Brown. And those guys were a great step up compared to 2018, right? But then you add in Stephon Diggs in 2020. And it's night and day from what you did in 2019 and 2020. The stats go through the roof when you get Stephon Diggs there. And then you got Diggs and Beasley and Brown. Man, I gotta admit, it did change. It helped a lot. It really did. It helped a tremendous amount of where that team was heading after they acquired Diggs. Or Bills draft, but you don't know that, Edward. See, the problem with that is I think everybody thought Jefferson was going to the Eagles. If you remember, the Eagles reached and they got, I forget the receiver's name, but it wasn't really supposed to go down like that. And I don't know if the Bills, obviously if they can go back in time, but Stephon Diggs was a hell of a player. Let's not twist it up. Obviously, knowing what we know now, of course, if you could, go back in time, but, it's not like Stephon Diggs didn't produce. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not even mad at it, but I get what you're saying. They could have. Let's say they don't, and Justin Jefferson happens to fall there. Like, yeah, then the Bills, but I don't know if that was, nobody really saw that coming, but I get your point. All right. Number 10. What if Sean McDermott? Oh, man, these are getting better. I did not read any of these, by the way. I kind of just skipped through them and then I asked them to do a little bit more. Wow. ChatGPT, thank you. Because these are great. I love this idea I came up with. This is fucking phenomenal. What if Sean McDermott is fired after 13 seconds? Potential answer: massive gamble. Okay. Bills could have improved or completely collapsed. Allen may have multiple coaching staffs already. I mean, all that. Yeah. I mean, all of that is I'm with that. I get that. But man, interesting, right? What if we did? Golly. All right. Oh, and I went through this on Sunday, but what if Donald Trump buys the Buffalo Bills in 2014? Potential answer: massive national attention, which is true. Uncertain football operations. Potential relocation concerns. But he said that he wasn't going to move the Bills. He had no plans like to move the Buffalo Bills out of Buffalo. So, of course he could be lying, but, I do question. It is interesting. I'm not going to lie, because if Trump buys the team, knowing the personality of Trump, right? Knowing who Trump is and, you know, how aggressive he is as a president, just as a businessman. If he did buy the Bills in 2014, you know, does he get a stadium deal done right away? Does he buy it himself? Right? Get what I'm saying? So that one's curious because he may just buy the stadium himself and not have taxpayers pay. I'm just maybe. And he gets the stadium done, you know, sooner than later. Does he hire Sean McDermott? Or does he, because I don't know what coaches were available at the time, or does he spend the money and go after a top-notch coach and just pays them big-time bucks to come to Buffalo, including a GM? Very interesting. But if that happens, does Josh Allen get drafted here? You know what I mean? I could also see him being super aggressive in free agency, you know, wanting to win, like winning at all costs. It doesn't matter. Like, that's kind of his thing. Very interesting, but it could have backfired. He could have moved the team. Maybe we don't get Allen. Maybe he's too aggressive and shit backfires. We spend too much and getting cap hell. I mean, it's interesting. It is. All right, what if, number 12, what if the Magulas never buy the Bills? Oh, man. Relocation rumors intensify. Toronto, Los Angeles, or another city becomes a possibility. Buffalo future becomes uncertain. And you know what? You never know. Like, I'm with them. You don't know. Like, and that's why, like, I'm glad it worked out, because Terry and Kim, they're Buffalo, you know, through and throughout. Like, they were the plan was never to move the Buffalo Bills. You know, they owned already the Buffalo Sabres. So I don't think that, you know, they were ever planning on moving the team. So it worked out at the end. But man, the Trump thing's interesting. I do find it interesting of what would have happened. What if? All right, number 13, what if the Bills draft Christian McCaffrey instead of Trey White? Oh, man. Potential answer, explosive offense. Defense suffers without White. Okay. Allen eventually gets an elite weapon, but he has one now in James Cook, or I would say borderline elite. Like, James Cook is heading in the right direction of that tier 1 list of running backs. But yeah, that's an interesting one, right? What if we went ahead and drafted McCaffrey instead of Trey White? What if, number 14, Von Miller doesn't get injured in 2022? Potential answer, defense remains dominant, though I don't think it was dominant at that point. I thought we were playing pretty good. Better playoff pass rush, I agree. Absolutely. Because Von was he was having a good year that year. Potential Super Bowl appearance. Possibly. You never know. I mean, Von was playing good football. Man. Number 15. What if DeMar Hamlin's injury never happens? Whoa. Potential answer. Bills finish season differently. AFC playoff seeding changes. Emotional toll on the team never occurs. Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, man, like, that was a fucked up season. 2022 was a fucking weird season. I got to say, like, and that's the one thing. It's crazy for all the, like, and I credit McDermott for other stuff, but I would say if we're going to, like, really go, hey, man, what McDermott's best season really was. And I know a lot of people say last year, but I don't think it was last year. I think, matter of fact, I don't think last year was that impressive at all. I would say 2022, if you really want to look at a coach and evaluate a coach and what he did and how far he got a team with everything that occurred during the course of the season, including the offseason, I thought Sean McDermott held that team together very good. And that is not an easy thing to do because, once again, there was so much that happened in 2022, guys. You remember the offseason, the the supermarket, the incident that happened there in Buffalo. Then Dalton Kincaid's brother passes away in his dorm room at FIU. And something else happened, I think, during camp. And then you got the Damar Hamlin injury, or not injury. Damar Hamlin basically dying on the field, right? You had all that. I think I'm missing something else that happened that season, but all that played, like, it just had to have weighed down heavily on the team. And I thought he did a really good job on putting the team, getting the team, ready to play football, and, emotionally getting them emotionally good again, or good to play football again. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot. Like, a lot happened there. And I would say 2022 for me, for as far as we went with everything that happened, I would say it's one of Sean McDermott's better coaching years for the Buffalo Bills. Allen played through an elbow injury that everyone, oh yeah, you're right. Was that the Jets one where he went to throw it and he got dislocated kind of? I think that's the same year, right? So a lot happened that year, man. But, you're talking about, like, just tragedy, like just heartbreak and tragedy and injury, like significant injuries, and a player passing away on the field, basically. Like all of that being said, you still get your team, that far in the playoff. You know what I mean? So, like, I got to give him credit for for getting everybody together and making it work. But anyways, all right, let's move on. Number 16. What if Brandon Beane? Oh, no, ChatGPT. Why are you doing this to me? What if Brandon Beane was fired along with Sean McDermott? Potential answer: complete organizational reset, which is true. No continuity around Josh Allen. Huge risk during Allen's prime. Thank you, ChatGPT. You know exactly what you're talking about. Like, that is all true. It is all true. You have to listen. Brandon Beane's done a very good job here. He understands Josh Allen very well. He knows what he's doing. For as much as people don't think he does, he absolutely, or the people that don't think he that he doesn't know what he's doing, he does, right? And if you remove Brandon Beane, you're kind of doing a major reset there. And we didn't need a major reset. I never thought the roster was the real reason why this team didn't get a Super Bowl during the McDermott era. I never believed that. I never said that once. I truly believe the reason why is because Sean McDermott failed. He failed in big moments. But anyways, next one. What if Jim Kelly signs with the USFL forever? So let's say the USFL sticks around. Potential answer: Bills never become the AFC powerhouse in the 90s. Probably not. No 4 straight Super Bowl appearances. I'm with that. Number 18. What if Buffalo drafts Ben Roethlisberger in 2004? Bills finally. So potential answer: Bills finally solve quarterback after Bledsoe. Steelers dynasty never looks the same. Wow. That is, that is right. AFC East changes dramatically. I mean, boy, oh boy. You see, we had opportunities, guys. Right there, right? And I agree. I mean, wow, that changes everything for the Steelers as well. Number 19, what if Buffalo wins the coin toss in overtime versus the Chiefs? Oh, we win the game because, well, let me tell you, at that point, Allen was such in a zone. There was no stopping him. And that includes Gabe Davis, by the way. Allen and Gabe Davis were in such a zone. If the Buffalo Bills win the coin toss, there is no way they're not scoring a touchdown on their opening drive. And that will be, at that time, a game-winning touchdown. Abso-fucking-lutely. I do not believe the Chiefs would have stopped Allen. They could not. They had no answer. They had no answer for Josh. They had no answer for Gabe Davis. Zero. Damn. Oh, it hurts, man. Potential answer. Allen likely leads the game-winning drive. One of the greatest playoff wins ever. Bills' narrative changes overnight. Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, who knows, guys, what happens there? We go on and win that game. Man, what if? Number 20, what if Josh Allen retires? Oh, man, with no Super Bowl ring. Potential answer. Still a Bills legend. I agree. Hall of Fame conversation remains strong. I agree. Because by then, he's going to have so much. He's going to have NFL records, right? He's already getting them. One of the greatest what could have been stories in NFL history. Golly, man. Let's hope that doesn't happen, right? All right, we got a bonus debate question. I did get more questions, though, because I was like, fuck it. You know what? Let's add some more. What if the Bills never fired Sean McDermott after the 2025 season? Ooh. Would continually have eventually paid off? Would continuity have eventually paid off? Or was a fresh start with Joe Brady exactly what Josh Allen needed? The last one could create some serious discussion among Bills Mafia. I did ask for more, so here we go. And we'll go and run through this because I got to get going soon. Number 21. What if the Bills draft Russell Wilson in 2012? Man, Buffalo finally finds a franchise quarterback. No EJ Manuel pick of 2013. Bills could end the drought years earlier. True. It's very true. Number 22. What if the Bills never trade for Sammy Watkins? Watkins and Josh Allen eventually play together. I don't know what that means. Anyways, depends on whether Watkins stays healthy. No extra draft assets for later moves. Oh, I see. They're not saying through the draft. They're saying, what if the Bills never traded Sammy Watkins? I read it wrong. Watkins and Allen eventually play together. Would they? I don't know. Watkins could never stay healthy. Depending on whether Watkins stays healthy, right? No extra. So I read it wrong. I'm sorry about that. I thought they meant trade up for the draft for him. Okay. Number 23. What if the Bills draft Justin Jefferson instead of trading for Stephon Diggs? Potential answer: elite wide receiver on a rookie contract. Bills have more cap flexibility, but Allen may not take the same year 3 leap. But Jefferson had a good rookie season, though. But I mean, that's a good one. Like, that's a good one to put there. Number 24. What if Buffalo drafts Travis Kelce in 2013? Allen eventually gets an all-time great tight end. Chiefs never build their dynasty around Mahomes and Kelce. Interesting. Number 25. What if the Bills hire Bill Cowher after the 2009 season? Oh, man. Potential answer: instant credibility. Could have accelerated the rebuild. Potentially ends the drought much sooner. What if Wade Phillips is never fired? Potential answer: Bills remain competitive into the early 2000s. No coaching carousel for years. I agree. I like Wade Phillips. I thought Wade Phillips was a good coach. What if Rob Johnson never starts over Doug Flutie? One of the biggest debates in Bills history disappears. Maybe the Music City Miracle never happens. And I agree. I don't think it ever happens. I think we win that game without having, that last, that last fucking fuck up of a kickoff and return. I think we win by at least 10 points. What if Buffalo drafts Rob Gronkowski in 2010? Patriots don't get Gronk. Bills get a future Hall of Famer. AFC East balance shifts dramatically. Maybe. We didn't have a quarterback, though. That's the problem. So I don't know. I think we waste his career away. At least through his rookie contract. I don't think he makes a difference. We have shitty quarterback play at that. What if Buffalo signs Tom Brady in 2020 instead of Tampa? Oh, no. Brady mentors Allen. There's no way it would happen. There's no way, by the way. That is... I'll read it anyways. Brady mentors Allen. Brady becomes instant Super Bowl. Bills become instant Super Bowl favorites. Weirdest timeline ever. Oh my God. Like, no. What if the Bills traded for Christian McCaffrey? Allen gets a game-changing weapon. Offense becomes nearly impossible to defend. I agree. What if the Bills beat Cincinnati in 2022 divisional round? Allen gets another shot at Mahomes. Bills move one step closer to Super Bowl. What if Buffalo drafts DK Metcalf? Oh, God. We had the opportunity to Cody Ford. Allen and DK become one of the NFL's most explosive duos. I agree. Bills offense becomes terrifying. What if the Bills draft TJ Watt instead of Trey White? Oh, elite pass rusher for a decade. Defense takes on a different identity. What if Josh Allen got drafted by the Browns? Does Allen become Josh Allen? That's true. I mean, the Browns, quarterbacks go there to die like the Jets. Buffalo likely remain searching for a quarterback. Oh, man. What if Buffalo never breaks the drought in 2017? McDermott's culture change takes longer. Allen era begins under most pressure. That's true. Under more pressure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's good. That's actually, yeah, that's true. What if Buffalo beats Jacksonville in 2017? First playoff win since the 90s. Momentum for the new regime skyrockets. What if Jim Kelly never gets hurt in Super Bowl XXV 1-1? Buffalo Bills offense stays competitive. Maybe Buffalo wins its first championship. What if Thurman Thomas doesn't lose his in Super Bowl XXV1? XSVI. One of the strangest Super Bowl stories never happens. Bills fans still debate whether it affected the game. Number 39. What if Bruce Smith is drafted by another team? But they couldn't because we had the first pick in the draft. So, but whatever. Bills lose arguably the greatest player ever. 1990s dynasty may never happen. What if Buffalo traded for Randy Moss? One of the greatest deep threats ever with Bills quarterbacks. A massive excitement in Buffalo. What if the Bills draft Ed Reed? Hall of Fame safety changes the defense for a decade. Ravens history changes forever. What if Buffalo wins one of the 4 straight Super Bowls? Wow. Entire perception of the franchise changes. Bills become celebrated instead of remembered for heartbreak. Yeah. What if Josh Allen wins MVP and Super Bowl in the same season? Potential answer: Allen enters an entirely different historical conversation, and he becomes the greatest Bills ever instantly. And I agree. If that were to happen, yes. Matter of fact, even without the MVP, if he won a Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills, and I love Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith is unbelievable, but he would become the greatest Bills player ever. Ever. He got the one thing that Buffalo has wanted, fans has wanted their whole lives: Super Bowl. What if the new stadium opens with the Super Bowl season? Oh man. Legendary moment in franchise history. New era officially begins. What if Joe Brady wins the Super Bowl before Sean McDermott? Potential answer: the decision to move on from McDermott gets fully validated. Brady becomes a Buffalo icon. What if Brandon Beane never becomes GM? No Allen, no Diggs trade, no modern Bills renaissance. Yeah, yeah. I think I pronounced that wrong, but whatever. What if the Bills draft Patrick Mahomes and keep Tyrod Taylor? Mahomes develops behind Tyrod, similar path to KC. Maybe. I don't know. What if the Bills draft Aaron Donald in 2014? Donald and the Bills defense dominate for years, one of the greatest defenders ever in Buffalo. What if the Bills never trade away Wyatt Teller? Offensive line becomes a major strength. One of Buffalo's most regrettable trade disappears. Number 50. What if Josh Allen delivers Buffalo's first Super Bowl? Statue outside the new stadium. Greatest player in franchise history debate is over. Bills Mafia celebrates for a generation. And that's it, guys. That's all I got, man. That is it for the night, dude. Still hungry from back against Bills first down. Yeah, it was bullshit. I already missed the old stadium. Well, get used to the new one because it's going to be badass. So that's it for the night, man. I gotta go to work, man. I got called in to do a late night shift. But man, this was fun, dude. I had a great time with this.